Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Babagbagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Buhari advises other African countries on ways to end unemployment. Police life matters. Uriwa laments attacks killing of officers. IPOB rejects pipeline security job offer. Also, ISWA claims responsibility for Kogi Celestial Church attack. Kidnappers demand payment for bullets fired during operation. On foreign story, Russian TV protesters flees country after escaping house arrest. And on sports, Confederation Cup playoffs, Rivers United to face El Nasser Benghazi of Libya. And second version of the sports story this evening, CAF lists Nigerian referee Madu for Women's Champions League duty. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has stated that African countries need to end the existing threat of unemployment, while adding that Nigeria is ready for collaboration through science and technology. According to Buhari, half of the population of the West African region is 15 years old and above, and therefore countries have to channel their energy and creativity in acquiring skills that confront the development of our region. Buhari, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, said these at the maiden conference of the African Forum on Research on Innovation (FARI) on Monday in Abuja. The president said that FARI was a great roadmap towards commitment to research and development which is necessary for diversification of socio-economic growth of African continent through science, technology, and innovation (STI). He further said that a new generation of active and productive talent was being discovered to contribute their quota in surmounting the challenges confronting the economic growth of the region, the need to create FARI. The president reiterated that the time to move forward and act accordingly is apt, stressing that this can only be achieved through collaboration, development of human capacity, infrastructure, technical skills, among others in ECOWAS region. According to President Buhari, half of the population of the West African region is 15 years old. To this end, Nigeria is committed to further strengthen collaboration with science, technology, and innovation experts as an integral part of a respective national development policies and plans. Buhari was quoted to have said, according to a release by Atuora Obed for the Ministry of Science and Technology. Speaking, the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Senator Adeleke Olonimbe Mamura, said the forum was initiated to improve public understanding of STI in the region. Moving on to the next story. The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Uriwa, has condemned the indiscriminate violence attack targeted at police operatives by insurgents from all parts of Nigeria. Uriwa, in a statement by its national coordinator, Comrade Emmanuel Owubiko, asked the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Kali Baba, to roll out strategies for practical revitalization of the Maribon Police Community Relations Committee to abridge the gulf between police and the policed. The right group said the quantum of hatred for the average police operative in Nigeria by the civil populace is mind-boggling, demanding that quick-win steps are adopted to bring this sentiment of hate to a quick end. Uriwa, which said no reason is strong enough to justify the massive targeting of armed policemen in their line of duty, however stressed that the police hierarchy at both the national and the sub-national levels are grossly lacking in the enforcement of strong deterrent administrative sanctions against indicted police officers who still carry out extrajudicial killings of suspects in the police custody across the country. And to the next story. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has warned its members that they have no business or interest in the pipeline security guards offer allegedly being dangled by the federal government to the youths in the southeast geopolitical zone of the country. It described the gesture as deceptive and dehumanizing, which is coming from an oppressor. IPOB Director of Publicity and Media Secretary Comrade Emma Powerful, in a statement made available to newsmen on Monday, reminded all the members, including its militias outfit, Eastern Security Network (ESN), that guarding pipeline is not part of the aims and objectives of IPOB. The group cautioned that every IPOB member and ESCN operative must advise him or herself properly, because any such involvement in this shameful and debilitating acts amount to automatic expulsion from the IPOB worldwide family. IPOB insisted that if you are a true hardcore and dedicated follower of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB worldwide family, do not allow yourself to be associated or entangled with the Nigerian government trap in the form of pipeline security guard. IPOB is a freedom fighting movement and will have no business working as a security guard to our oppressor so that they may continue to suck our national resources dry to the detriment of our children and generations yet unborn. From that story, we will go to Kogi State. The Islamic State West African Province ISWAP, a franchise of the Islamic State ISIS, has claimed responsibility for an attack on a church in Kogi State. Politics Nigeria had reported how at least 2 worshippers were shot dead while 3 others were injured as gunmen numbering about 6 on Sunday night attacked the Celestial Church located at Felele, area of Lokoja in Kogi State. According to Zagozola Makama, a counterinsurgency expert ISWAP, and said its men were behind the attack. ISWAP reportedly have a camp inside Okene Forest where it is coordinating attacks in Kogi State. The terrorists have intensified attacks on soft targets, especially churches located in isolated communities, following their inability to launch attack on military formations in Kogi. Moving on to the next story from the world news. Mr. Lukman Aliyu, the father of 2 teenage boys recently abducted by gunmen in Kwara State, has said the abductors demanded payment for the bullet they shot during the operation, among other demands. According to Mr. Lukman Aliyu, the father of 2 other boys were recently kidnapped by gunmen in Kwara State, said the kidnappers called and demanded money in addition to other things. They had earlier called for the money in addition to alcoholic drinks, cigarettes, carton of milk, and energy drink. City and Crime report that the 2 sons, Qadri and Muhyiddin, were kidnapped while 5 hoodlums attacked their residence at midnight last week in Ashiyori community, Alabado area of Ilorin West local government area of Kwara State. Speaking with correspondent, the distraught father said he had already sold his Toyota Corolla car and mortgaged his house to raise the money. Now I have sold my car, mortgaged my house to raise the money. The amount so far realized is grossly inadequate despite effort by the community to also support with what they have. If you are just joining, you are watching the world news from BGI TV. Next to come is the foreign story. Former Russian state TV journalist Marina Osienkova, who interrupted a live news broadcast with an anti-war protest and was accused of spreading fake news about the war in Ukraine, has fled the country after escaping from house arrest, according to a lawyer. Maria is currently under the protection of European state lawyer Dmitry Zakutov said on Monday, declining to elaborate as it may turn out to be a problem for her. In March, Maria interrupted a live evening news program on Russia's state television, holding up a sign behind the studio presenter that said "No war, stop the war and don't believe the propaganda." She was arrested, charged with disparaging the Russian military, and fined 30,000 rubles. The Kremlin denounced her protest as hooliganism. The Channel 1 editor quit her job but refused to accept an asylum offer in France from the President Emmanuel Macron, saying, "I don't want to leave our country." After quitting her job, Maria became an activist staging anti-war pickets. The 44-year-old was given 2 months house arrest in August over a protest in July when she held up a protest and posted that described Russian President Vladimir Putin as the murderer and the Moscow's troops as fascists. Concluding the world news this hour is from the sport angle. 2022 Nigeria Professional Football League champions Rivers United will face El Nasser Benghazi in the CAF Confederation Cup second additional playoffs round. The pride of Rivers crashed out of the Champions League after falling 7-2 on aggregate to Wydad Athletic Club. The first leg of the playoff has been fixed for November 2nd at the Adoke Amasiakamaka Stadium in Rivers State, and second leg scheduled for November 9th in Libya, according to the draw released by Confederation of African Football on Tuesday. Moving to the next story on sports. Nigeria's Patience Ndidi Madu has been named among the referees that will officiate at the second edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. Madu is the only Nigerian referee that made the final selection, with the rest from Egypt. South Africa, Senegal, Uganda, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Burundi, Namibia, and Morocco. She also officiated at the 2022 African Women's Cup of Nations in Morocco and FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Costa Rica. CAF listed 10 center referees, 12 assistant referees, and 7 officials that will work in the video assistant referees VAR section at the competition. Bayelsa Queens will represent Nigeria at the competition, which will be hosted by Morocco. The competition will take place from October 30th to November 13th in Rabat and Marrakech in Morocco. That ends the world news today. Before we go, some major headlines. Buhari advises other African countries on ways to end unemployment. We also brought to you Uriwa lament attack, killings of officers. IPOB rejects pipeline security job offer. And lastly, on sport, CAF lists Nigerian referee Madu for Women's Champions League duty. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Babagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawa. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in